Just how he carried us really when we were struggling to shoot the ball. Um, in the first three quarters, I thought we were getting good looks, but we just couldn't knock him down, and he was just that steady force for us. And
The NBA has a serious problem, and most teams still haven't noticed it. It's not a super team, and it's not a rebuild. It's Kevin Durant and Alperen Şengün existing on the same timeline. One is a proven scorer who can take over any game at any moment. The other is a young center changing how modern big men dominate the floor. Together, they create matchup nightmares defenses can't solve. Double teams don't work. Switching fails. Late game plans collapse. This isn't hype. This is a warning, because if this trend continues, the Western Conference just became a lot more dangerous.
The Rockets are doing the thing that was missing early in the season. They were 1-3 in close games. You wonder if that's missing Fred VanVleet, if there's something wrong with him in the clutch. That is what this team is going to need come playoff time with the absence of a traditional.
The NBA didn't plan for this version of the future. For years, the league tried to separate eras. Veteran superstars on one side, rising international talent on the other. But Kevin Durant and Alperen Şengün break that timeline completely. Durant represents the last evolution of the unstoppable scorer, positionless, efficient, lethal from anywhere on the floor. Sengun represents the next evolution of the modern big, creative, physical, intelligent, and unafraid of contact. When these two styles overlap in the same era, defenses don't just struggle, they panic. Because the systems designed to stop one actually empower the other. Switch-heavy defenses leave Sengun with guards he can punish. Drop coverage gives Durant space that feels illegal in today's NBA. Trap one, and the other becomes the release valve. The league has spent a decade designing counters for isolation stars and post bigs separately. It never built a real answer for both attacking simultaneously. That's why this isn't about highlights or stats. It's about structural stress. Coaching staffs hate situations where there is no right decision. Every adjustment creates another weakness. That's what makes this pairing terrifying. It forces teams into choosing how they want to lose. Slowly, methodically, possession by possession. And the worst part? This problem isn't peaking, it's still learning. Sengun is getting smarter every month. Durant is still one of the most precise scorers the game has ever seen. When experience meets hunger, the league doesn't get parity. It gets pressure, and pressure breaks systems long before it breaks players.
I think you all were able to really find in that fourth quarter to finally get some momentum. I guess it started at the end of the third quarter, to get the win tonight.
yeah, about a 5-6 minute stretch of in the third, last 2.5, 3 minutes, in the first 2.5, 3 of the fourth.
Watch how teams defend elite scorers today. Everything is built on disruption. Bump cutters, shrink the floor, force kickouts. Now watch what happens when Sengun operates from the high post or short roll. That disruption disappears. Passing lanes reopen. Timing collapses. Defenders hesitate because one wrong step gives Durant a clean look, and one late rotation gives Sengun an angle to carve up the paint. This isn't raw athletic dominance. It's mental exhaustion. Defenders aren't just running, they're thinking constantly. And that's when mistakes multiply. Durant doesn't need speed to beat you. He needs one misread. Sengun doesn't need power alone. He needs one defender out of position. Together, they punish hesitation more than aggression. That's why switching doesn't save you. That's why zone doesn't hold. Even when teams execute perfectly for 3 quarters, fatigue creeps in. Rotation slow. Communication slips. And suddenly the same actions that were contained early turn into runs that flip games. This is why coaches talk about breaking coverage discipline. That's exactly what this style does. It forces defenses to overcorrect. And once a defense overcorrects, elite players feast. The scary part is how repeatable it is. This isn't about hot shooting nights. It's about sustainable pressure. Night after night. Series after series. The kind that doesn't need luck. Just patience. That's playoff basketball. And if you're a Western Conference team watching this develop, you're not asking how to stop it. You're asking how to survive it. Here's where the conversation shifts from basketball to reality. The NBA markets youth versus legacy. But Durant and Sengun blur that line. They represent continuity, not contrast. One teaches by example. The other absorbs, adapts, and accelerates. This isn't a torch being passed, it's a torch being shared. And that's dangerous for a league built on cycles. Because cycles imply endings. This doesn't feel like an ending. It feels like overlap. And overlaps extend dominance. Younger stars learn how to win before they're supposed to. Veterans stay relevant longer because the load is smarter, not lighter. That combination stretches championship windows and compresses everyone else's. Teams stuck rebuilding feel further away. Contenders feel less secure. That's how balance disappears quietly. Not through headlines, but through matchups, through possessions, through trends no one wants to admit until it's too late. The NBA has always evolved through partnerships that force change, not rule changes, but thinking changes. This might be one of those moments, because when scoring gravity meets playmaking gravity, the floor tilts. And once the floor tilts, the league has to adjust. Front offices will chase replicas. Coaches will redesign schemes. Big men will be asked to think differently. Wings will be asked to defend smarter, not harder. This isn't just about two players. It's about what they represent together. A warning sign for defenses, a blueprint for offenses, and a reminder that the most dangerous problems in basketball aren't loud. They arrive quietly and stay.
Point of contact has to be much higher than the free throw line. We were touching him in the paint most of the time. He gets to a shot too easy. So just all the things with, personnel based things that we talk about and show on film, and just too many lapses with that. When we get it right, we get stops.
Yeah.
This is something you see, and we're finally getting a look of it. Durant won the three over. Are you kidding me? Wow, Kevin Durant.
The real story here isn't about one player, one matchup, or one season. It's about what happens when the league realizes its usual answers no longer work. The NBA has always survived by adjusting, by copying whatever wins and mass-producing it across rosters. But the Kevin Durant and Alperen Şengün problem doesn't offer a clean blueprint. You can't just draft another Durant. You can't train patience, vision, and touch on command like Sengun's. What Houston represents right now is something the league hates dealing with: uncertainty. Defenses are built on rules, tendencies, and probabilities. This combination breaks all three. Every night, opponents walk in with a plan and leave having used 3 different ones, none of them fully working. And that kind of pressure doesn't just affect the game, it affects confidence. Coaches start overcoaching. Players hesitate. Rotations get tighter. Mistakes multiply. This is how narratives shift quietly before they explode publicly. The Rockets aren't dominating headlines yet, but they're dominating preparation rooms. And that's always the first step. The league has seen this pattern before. Teams get dismissed as interesting, then annoying, then suddenly dangerous. By the time everyone agrees, it's already too late. Durant's presence accelerates decision-making. Sengun slows it down. That contrast is brutal for opponents. One forces urgency, the other punishes it. And when a team can control tempo without forcing pace, that's when playoff basketball starts showing up early. This isn't about legacy talk or championship guarantees. It's about pressure, sustained, intelligent pressure that doesn't rely on emotion or hot shooting nights. The kind that wears teams down over months, not minutes. The NBA doesn't fear stars. It fears combinations it can't standardize against. And right now, this is one of them. If the league doesn't adapt, it won't be because it didn't see this coming. It'll be because it didn't know how to stop it. And that's the difference between a moment and a movement.